And there is no room to do this. But I have to. I must. I must get started. I must. Everything's 10 millimeter, isn't it? And it's so tight in here. Oh, go the other way. I remember this when I fought for every inch to do this. Release the pressure on the alternator, because there is no tensioner. The alternator is the tensioner. Oh, I gotta tell you how I got these things off without the special tool. And one thing about working with motorcycles for a long time is I have a lot of small tools and small screwdrivers. So the way I got this thing out is I got one screwdriver on one side, these tiny little ones. As someone on Facebook said, I'm sorry, I can't remember your name, I'll give you credit, is jeweler's screwdrivers, well, specifically this one. And the other one's just a tiny one. So I got one in one side and the other in the other side, and just and slowly it pulled itself out, and I got it out without breaking it. So now we get to go down underneath and see what is under here. We got one screw, we got another one, we got a and see, this thing goes all the way across, doesn't it? Does this thing go all the way across under the other wheel? Or does it stop somewhere? We may just let it hang. Yeah, this bra is just one gigantic piece. But it's flexible enough. I think we can just let it hang and get enough working room to get that serpentine belt off. Or at least be able to see it. Learn something new here. I got the bra hanging down now, but the bra, the plastic lip, and this, whatever this is, 3 separate plastic pieces, are going to be a pain to get back together because they all hold themselves up right through this hole in this big plastic gangbang. So, once I got everything out, this one went with a little tug, the bra came off. But now I got to get it back together. Yeah, plenty of room to work now to get at the belt, but now I have to remember how all these things get to back together. So before I even touch that belt, I'm going to reassemble this thing. So since it's all fresh in my mind, how it all came out, I'm going to assemble it back together again. So when I go to finally put it back together hours from now, I won't forget. Hey, you guys win another I told you so. I'm replacing parts that doesn't really need replacing. First was the brakes. I mean, the belt was squeaking. It was making a squeaking sound. It's brown, but I'm looking for cracks, and I see some wear marks, but compared to the new belt, which is about an AC Delco, there's not a whole lot of difference. Although, well, I would say the grooves on the old belt are pretty worn in, and the grooves on the new belt are nice and narrow, which means the ridges in between are pretty thick. So, well, it's not like I'm going to put the old belt on, right? The old belt's off and the new one's going on, but hopefully this will stop the squeaking. So one of the things I set out to do today, I succeeded. The bra is all the way off. The belt is on, but it's not on, which means I think it's routed correctly, or the bra is just bent like crazy down there, just trying to give me some room. And I have a bungee cord here because I'm doing it all by myself to try to keep the belt from falling back down. I have it around the crank pulley. I have it around the water pump. I have it sort of around the idler pulley, and by virtue of everything being connected, it will then drive the air conditioning pump. But Now I have to get it above the alternator, and that's the last thing you do. And that's going to be the hardest, because it's not going to want to go on, and it's going to want to pop off everything else. So I got to take a break or else I'm going to go crazy. New belt is on. The thing I had to do is take off the tensioner bolt completely off with this one. And to get at this one, you have to take off the ABS, main ABS sensor plug, so you get enough room to work there. And also this radiator hose disconnected from these two brackets, so there's room for it to move around and get ratchets in there. So once I get this on, then we get to go button up the bra. Oh yeah, new belt's on. New belt is tensioned. All the bolts are back on. Radiator hose back on, and the bra is back on without breaking a single one of these. When I look at these plastic connection button things, they were put on to expedite the construction process. Because over here there is one screw that holds this plastic gangbang together. And that thing goes on just as easy as those. So why not have metal? Well, you don't need a, you put the outer one in, then you put the in one in, and you don't even need a screwdriver to do it. So that's why they do it. But they come out, they pop all the way out, then you separate the two with more screwdriver. I hit those things up hardcore with the WD-40. Even though they're plastic, they're that special kind of plastic that doesn't, WD-40 won't erode it. And then they come apart. And I use my fingers to pull them apart. I didn't use the pliers because I didn't want to break them. But they all went out and they all came back in. So the rear rotors are still, the rear wheel bearings are still in there, the old ones. So I don't have a 31mm metric socket, and I'll go get one of those tomorrow morning because it's still Easter here. And I'll have some help. Dan will be helping me tomorrow. So that'd be good. Other than that, I'll take it for a drive and see if it squeaks. Just took her for a test drive. The squeaking's gone from the front, so at least that's fixed. It still has the rah sound coming from, I hope, the back. It seems to come from everywhere, but I think it's coming from the back. Really, the back is the only thing I really could change on my own. The fronts, you have to cut the race off and do other weird stuff. So tomorrow, I'm going to change the rear ones once I get a hold of something like a 32mm socket. And I heard two stories. One, you can just reuse the spindle nut as long as you don't mar it. And two, you have to replace it. Unless I F it up, I'm just going to replace that. I'm going to reuse the spindle nut. The only thing as long as you tap that little notch back in nice and smooth, of course I'm going to put Loctite on it, and then tap it back down nice and smooth too, and the threads are fine, it's fine. So that's on plan for tomorrow.